G'day YouTube, Turbo Tristan here. Welcome back to the channel. Thanks again for tuning in. So in today's video, we're going to do a little bit of general maintenance, troubleshooting, and just a little bit of peace of mind for me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take off the intake manifold. Weird thing to do, I know. But the reason for taking that off is when I was tidying up some things, and as you can see here, I've put a bolt in there. That was a breather line. So being that now the car's under boost, I don't want that pressurizing back down into the sump, so I've blocked that off. But while I was cleaning that, I didn't film it because it was just a weird thing to do. I decided I would stick a screwdriver in there and just see if there's anything blocking it. Now, when I took the screwdriver out, well, first of all, when I put it in there, it felt a bit grainy. And then when I pulled it out, there was all sorts of soot and oil gunk and all that sort of stuff all over the tip of the screwdriver, which had me a little bit concerned that, being that this engine has 320,000 kilometers on it, although the compression is fine, it doesn't leak any oil out of the front or the rear seal or the rocker cover gasket or anything like that. And even it doesn't breathe oil vapors. There's no drips coming out of there, which is your breather. It still worries me that it's full of oil. Now what I did back in the early days, I did a how to clean your throttle body and intake. And what I did there was I just used some throttle body and carby cleaner, sprayed it into the intake, let it clean everything out. I blasted a good full can in there, let it all eat away everything, and then started the car up. Smoke came out the exhaust, that's normal. The throttle body looked nice and clean, so I figured job's done. But a couple of months later, when I put the screwdriver in there, I realized it's still full of gunk. Now the concerning thing is if this is full of soot and oil vapor and it's quite clumpy, when pressurized air starts to go in there, and also hot air, it's going to melt all of that stuff, and then the pressurized air is going to push that down into the cylinders. And I don't want it to get stuck on a valve, making a valve stay open or something like that. So basically, just for peace of mind, I'm going to pull it all apart, give it a good scrub, good clean, clean it right out and make sure there's nothing in there, just for peace of mind. We're not really hitting boost yet. We're at about, I'm guessing, because you can feel it start to come on, maybe 1 or 2 PSI, and then the car won't rev anymore. So the day that we do get to put the full 10 PSI through the engine and start to make some real power, I'm worried that that's going to cause me some dramas later. So I'm going to clean that up now. Also, there was that oily smell that I would get from time to time. One of the guys in the comments mentioned that it might be the oil passing through the turbo into the exhaust because they don't seal unless they're under pressure. That was one suggestion. Another suggestion was simply just to check into the intercooler pipes and see if there's any oil residue in there, which is another great idea. Simple one to check. So I'm going to check all of those things, pull it apart, give it a clean, put it all back together again, see if I can simplify some of the bracketry that's down behind the back of the engine. Lightweight, race mods, and also just make things a lot easier when I'm doing oil changes. If I ever have to change that fitting with the oil pressure switches again, that was in my way, so that'll be gone. And just any other hoses and things that are in the road there, I'm going to get rid of those while it's all off. You'll probably have noticed that a lot of the YouTubers that you're watching now are doing how-tos or little filler videos. They're trying to make some content to keep the content coming, so they keep getting their views up, you know, things like that, just to keep activity on the channel. I'm as guilty as anyone else. I've been trying to think, what can I do during quarantine to bring you guys some content and keep the project moving along? And this is something that I was going to do anyway. I wanted to do. I might as well do it while I'm not working. I'm out of a job at the moment. So is the missus. So I've got a backup car with her car if I need to go anywhere and if this doesn't get done today. Also, if you could all drop a comment down below about what color I should paint the rocker cover. I've got some wrinkle black paint, which I was thinking I'll just wrinkle black coat the intake while it's off. I wanted to satin black the intercooler pipes once they're all done. And I was thinking a bright fluoro yellow just to contrast against the black, which would stand out a lot. Or a green, fluorescent green, or classic Honda wrinkle red. But I don't know, it's the thing with Hondas, you kind of, underneath the bonnet, they always have some kind of a mural up there, which I've got an idea for that. So that's gonna come. And they always have really bright engine bays. And usually the engine bay is a different color to the outside of the car. Don't ask me why, but that's just a Honda thing. Drop a comment below on what color you think I should paint this to tidy it up. Again, sorry for the fill-in content, but this is a job that I needed to do anyway. And it's gotta be done just for my peace of mind, because I don't want to blow up the engine too soon. Okay guys, so I'm a little bit disappointed, but I'm also very happy. I pulled off the fuel injectors, the throttle body, and I stuck my torch into the intake, and it's actually really clean. The bit that had me really scared and thinking that I needed to pull this apart because it was full of soot was the outlet just here. Now, I stuck this in there and that's what came out. It was pretty clumpy, but if you look into the actual throttle body or into the intake, you can see there, it's really quite clean. Even down into the injector holes. Try and get a good view. But long story short, I tried to pull that apart for no good reason. The intake is clean. The other thing is the intake pipe is clean, which means there's no oil running through the system. So that's also a good thing. So I'm just going to put it back together. Sorry I didn't have anything more exciting for you guys to see today, but I was hoping to do a video on cleaning out the ports and everything and really giving that manifold a tidy up. Doesn't really need it. I guess we'll leave it alone. There's no point spending a whole day pulling that apart if there's no real need. So I'm disappointed. I was looking for something fun to do today, but I'm just going to throw all this back on and give it a tidy up, and A weird thing is I actually shaved my head last week, for those of you who saw. Episode 4 or 5, whichever the last one was, of how to turbo your car got around 80 or 90 views in a week. But shaving my head got about 500. I don't know. Does people want to see beauty routines on YouTube or something? I'm not sure, but I just shaved my head because I was sick of it getting in the road. Plus it's thinning out anyway. So I just thought I'd man up and do the right thing and get rid of the mop. Yeah, let me know what you guys think. It was pretty interesting. YouTube works in pretty funny ways. Okay, so speaking to my mate Stu, and he wanted to have a look at what the exhaust looks like, and I didn't get a chance to do that before, so I may as well throw that into this video as well. So there it is off the back of the turbo, around underneath, up the back. There's the high flow 200 cell cat, and then it basically just goes all the way down the back to an S-bend and then straight out to a 2.5-inch box. So there's the V-band there. So if I ever want to disconnect the exhaust, it's one bolt there and one bolt there, and that piece comes out as one piece. Perfect for cars like this where you'll be always working on them. Just checking out there's no extra leaks or anything while I'm under the car. Everything looks good. So after all of that, turned out the intake was fine. I did simplify a couple of pipes. You probably see that on a time lapse I did if I decide to put it in. But yeah, it was a good peace of mind. Now I can rest easy knowing that there's no oil gunk or soot or any caked up chunks of carbon or anything in the intake. So that's good. We're ready to boost. We're ready to rip. So that's good news. There was no oil flowing into the intercooler pipes or through the intercooler. So that's another bonus. I hope you enjoyed looking at the exhaust. And I'm going to throw a couple of other clips in here, which are dyno videos of some pretty high horsepower turboed and supercharged V8s that my friend Sticks dyno tunes down in his workshop, Quick Bits. So I'll throw those in. This is a bit of a filler video. Hopefully I've got something good to show you next week. But in the meantime, make sure you disinfect your finger so it doesn't look like this. Sanitizer. Wash your hands, and then gently take your phone, click subscribe, and don't smash the like button. Don't smash your phone. Just click it. Just subscribe. And there'll be plenty more once this virus settles down. Once I start working again, we'll be throwing some cash at this car. I've tracked down some ECUs that as soon as I get paid, I'll go and buy one just to have in reserves, because I need a P28 or a P30 ECU for the car. Now, they have a specific 28 pin chip that can be put into the motherboard of the ECU, and then you can run HON data. You can select single cam. It adds in the file, and off you go, and you can start tuning things like boost by gear if you have an electronic boost controller, which I'm never going to run, not on this turbo, not on this engine. 10 pounds is going to be heaps. I may do a bleed valve if there's enough injector and fuel system for it and it's running rich or something. I can add a couple of PSI into it. But you can do launch control, rolling anti-lag. So there's a few extra good features in the HON data that I'm looking forward to playing around with. I can then run the car on 100% E85 if I want to. I can have a separate file for that, or I can put it on 98 and still have a ton of fun. But yeah, we're just deciding what to do next. I have been tossing up with the idea of moving the battery into the boot and getting a larger battery. That one there works fine, but I don't want to see any voltage drop when I'm boosting and when I'm at the track, so I might put a bigger battery in eventually and relocate that into the boot. I do intend to change those squeaky belts, but hey, low on the priority list. Thanks again for watching. Thanks for subscribing. As I'm filming this, we're at 162 subscribers. Still a long way off my goal of 1,000, but we'll get there once we hit the track again, and once we start doing some dyno runs and seeing what this car can make on this $175 turbo, $100 turbo manifold, $100 intercooler, and $140 intercooler pipe, you know, all just bought off eBay and slapped on the car. The plan still is to run a K24 built engine with a bigger turbo and an all-wheel drive gearbox and drivetrain from a CRV. That's still the main goal. We might do it in stages depending on budget, depending on what wrecks I can find. If I can even find a B20, you know, that's a really low cost option. CRV, so the old late 90s CRV with a 2 litre, might do that. Plenty of options. It just all comes down to money, and we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. I try not to be like other YouTubers and do dumb filler content or drive around and talk too much when there's nothing else to do, just to try and make content. I really did have good intentions today. I really did want to pull that out, clean that up, make sure that was all sweet. I was even going to probably put the die grinder in there and tidy it up, but there's really no point. This intake manifold, I'm told, is the better one of all the single cam Honda intakes. So it was clean. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's my motto. And if it is broke, fix it with something way better. Anyway, enough rambling. I'll chop this into a video for you guys and see you next time.
On that touring thing, on the thrust. Check the thrust, see how much it's changed.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty sure you've got all written down.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna go, well, I'll go back to work, put the control on and stuff in.
And I'm surprised, I'll just open the gate, the roller door, all the way, we'll get some heat in there. Heat, I don't know, should say.